Alright, hey there guys. This is Tech Sergeant Rogers here. Um, as a few of you guys may know, I am in the Civil Air Patrol Cadet Program. And this actually is a guide for the Civil Air Patrol Cadet Program. I'm going to be doing guides like this. I'm going to try and do them daily until I run out of guides. So, this first video is going to be a guide over what is an NCO, because I know the cadets in my squadron, a lot of them haven't even met that staff sergeant requirement yet, but quite a few of them are getting ready to be there, and I don't think a lot of them know what the standard is for a staff sergeant and or an NCO. So basically, that's what I'm here to explain about. Now, the factor of an NCO, a NCO is actually meant to be the backbone of the Civil Air Patrol, as with any other military-based unit. That includes Army, Air Force, Marines, Coast Guard for all I care, or Navy. I think I already said Navy, but either way, they are the backbone. Mainly for Civil Air Patrol, NCOs are there for the officers, because whenever you got an officer, you got your NCOs. If the officer has to leave their flight or their squadron to go to a meeting at that very moment, then a NCO the NCO's job is to take in position of that officer. So you could be doing that officer could be doing drill with their flight and be called to a meeting, and then that officer would then let the NCO know that they have to go to an unspecified area at a certain time, and that you're going to be taking charge at that very moment, no questions asked. But of course, they'll let you know that it's a meeting or what it is they're doing, and to keep the cadets busy. So I've been in the program for 4 years. I was trained by nothing but officers. Actually, correction, I was trained by 2 officers, which are both, one was a colonel and one was a major. So I know my way around the Civil Air Patrol. I know my regulation, and I know my leadership. Which another thing about NCO is you have to know what you're doing. So as a senior airman getting ready to become that and to go into that NCO threshold of staff sergeant up to a chief master sergeant, and learn the regulation. Learn your Cap M 39-1, so that way you know what the uniform regulation is. So that way, whenever you get in that position of a first sergeant or as a flight commander, or even if you go to a encampment or an NCOA, you don't have to sit there and ask your fellow NCOs, fellow cadets, what is the requirements for my uniform. Personally, like I said, I've been in this program for 4 years. I've learned the regulations. I've learned multiple regulations. It's not easy. Being an NCO is no easy job, whereas a airman, you have it, oh yes, go to this area at this specific time, be there, ready for a class or drill or PT, doesn't matter what. Whereas an NCO, you have to not only be there on time, but you have to be there 15 to 30 minutes early. And as a NCO, you can't do anything wrong. And if you do, your cadets are going to see you do that, because you are their next step as a leader. The leaders of the Civil Air Patrol, the next generation of leaders, are in your hands. Which I may sound like that's a lot, which yes, it is.
But after about 2 weeks of being a NCO, you learn. You learn it good on how to officially lead. And it's not an easy job, as I've said before. Um, the NCO is something to cherish. The NCO is not only there for the squadron or flight, but they are also there for the cadet. We're not there so we can sit there and learn more, which, yes, we are there to learn, so we can get up in that next threshold for us, NCO, which is the officer NCO. Or not officer NCO, my apologies. My apologies entirely. Our next objective is the officer grade. Officer grade is no easy deal, which I'll talk about in a whole nother episode or video. I don't know how I'm gonna do this just yet. I'm just going based off of what I have on a class that I have set for February. So I just went in this with no planning whatsoever. But if you are a cadet out there and you need help with anything, I'm going to be posting these videos at least one a day. If I have the time, that's if I'm not working on my Civil Air Patrol stuff, if I'm not working towards looking into an encampment or another one of these, if I'm not working towards a plan for one of these videos. I think my next video, though, will be how to wear the uniform properly, because not a lot of people know how to use. Not a lot of cadets know how to wear the uniform properly. Um, like I said, I am a tech sergeant now. I've been promoted very slowly. I will say that. Not due to the fact of I'm not a good cadet. It's not anything like that. But I'm not going to go into that. I think my next episode, though, will be my time in Civil Air Patrol and what I've done with it. But I will tell you, NCOs are everything. NCOs are there not to be jerks. They're not there to yell at the cadets. They're not there just so you can be disciplined. Being an NCO has way more meaning than just yell, yell, yell. It is, they are the training force of the Civil Air Patrol, of the Marines, of the Army, of the Navy, of the whatever comes next. So you are, as an NCO, a teacher, mentor, leader, and you need to be showing each one of your core values, no matter what the circumstances. You need to be showing integrity, volunteer service, excellence, and respect. Because without it, you're nothing. You're nothing as an NCO. I don't mean that in any sort of bad way. I mean that as a NCO myself. I've had to learn. I've had to transform my career as a cadet from a learning phase into a leadership learning phase, instead of just, okay, cool, they're telling me to do a right face at this moment in time. As the NCO, you have to know when to call that right face. You can't just be calling a right face and calling it on the right foot. Yes, it's a right face, but or a left face and calling it on the right foot. Right? Yeah. I did that backwards. You can't be doing like a left face and just call a right foot. You have to know when. You have to know the regulation. So before you even go into doing any sort of NCO work, you have to know the regulation. So my personal opinion, learn the regulation. That would be my homework to you. And if you want to be a safety NCO, look up what you got to do to be a safety NCO. My position as the NCO, I'm a flight sergeant, as well as I'm a medical. I'm part of the medical field. I'm also part of a safety field. I do some of the comms work. I make sure everything goes as smoothly as I possibly can make it. But I hope that I've not been sitting here blabbering about whatever I possibly can for no apparent reason. I hope you do learn something out of this, even though I feel like I was blabbering about it way too much. But as I said before, read. I cannot stress that enough. Read your manuals. Read 39-1 especially. Especially if you get a flight sergeant position like me. You have to know the male's regulation. You have to know the female's regulation. You have to know it down pat. So, but this has been Tech Sergeant Rogers. Now see you guys next time.